Welcome in, everybody. This guy has his work cut out for him. This was a team that went into this defensive battle with the Jacksonville Jaguars where we thought we had the advantage. Nothing was going to be able to really threaten them deep, and yet things happened that should not have. We're going to break it all down tonight. This is RGR football. If you are not used to it, well, here we go, because it's going to be you and me and all of your questions getting answered right now here on the channel. Welcome in, everybody. I am Ryan. This is RGR football. I'm going rogue tonight as Dan is not with me. He locked it down for me last night when I was tied up with the family, so I appreciate it, everyone. Nice to see everyone, including Brad and Swag and Jordan. Miss Nikki's in. Nice to see you. It's going to be a little bit of fun. We're going to have a good time. You guys get your questions ready. This is going to be like a normal Monday Q&A. So Super Chats get an answer no matter what. Throw your ideas and your questions in there, and I will answer them for you. We are going to get into it because I have a lot of bones to pick. Going to make an announcement right off the bat. I'm going to do some film this week. I know it's not something that I do as much anymore now that Dan's kind of taken over the film work. But I got a lot to go over, and I'm going to put it up in the members groups. Most of you are already members. If you're not part of Rogue Nation, go ahead and get signed up because the film aspect of YouTube is getting tighter and tighter. So I'm just going to put it behind the members wall so they can't demonetize us or anything like that. So I'm going to give you my thoughts, full not safe for work, kind of cussing, that kind of thing. I'm going to be real, and I'm going to do that here later in the week as I break down the film. Tatum, nice to see you. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Miss Nikki, same to you. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I was very disappointed. I had a family sporting event for my kids as they get ready to kind of hit the culmination of their careers. So needed to take some time to be with the family. But I got to watch the first quarter on the phone, like live as though I were normally watching. Didn't get to take notes. So folks, if you are a member and you're looking for the notes, they will not be there for this week, but the rest are in the directory like they always are. So you can find that now. Then had to take a break, had to watch. And by the time we got to the point where we were going into the fifth set of this game, which is where we get a little bit of a break finally, it was already into the fourth quarter. And I was like, holy cow, this looks like two different teams. And that's honestly where it came down to. I was really disappointed with the way that the game flowed, and I was very disappointed that they didn't figure themselves out. So we're going to figure this out and give at least our direction here. A lot of questions. We will talk Chris Jones tonight. I'll talk more of it in the members film here coming up shortly, but we're going to jump right into the questions because there's a bunch of them already. And going solo, I go a little bit slower, so I'm going to have to get in there. Swag, this team has no killer instinct. Andy, after going 14-0, played conservative as hell, going up 14-0. He will keep doing this because no one holds him accountable. This shit is ridiculous. And Swag, you're right. There is no one to hold him accountable except Clark Hunt. And all Clark Hunt cares about is the W's at the end of the day and the expanded viewership in Europe. Those are the two things that Clark Hunt cares about right now. And that, unfortunately, is not something that's going to change for Andy Reid. So the repercussions there are a little bit different. But he also gets a ton of wins, so you got to give him a little bit of leeway in my mind. But I agree, the killer instinct is disappeared and honestly needs to be brought along. It needs to be like grown. It's like a little mushroom in the ground. You gotta give it some water, got to give it some sunlight. You got to grow that thing, right? Because what I've come to realize today, and I stayed up super late. I was up till like past 1 o'clock watching the film last night on the fast replay and really getting my takeaways as though it were regular game day. And I just came away pissed off and disappointed. They were paired. They didn't have that killer edge. And it now appears to me very plainly that the aberration of putting your foot on the Baltimore Ravens was way more about the Ravens than it was about the Chiefs, because they still don't know how to put anyone in the ground. And it's comes from Andy, but it flows downhill as well. And I think there was a let up there. I think the defense was like, Pat put us up, They were actually able to run the ball in twice and look good doing it. Both little variations of a one-step counter play. Not a true, like, full counter, but enough. The things that we've told you for years will work. It still works, and yet it lulls the defense to sleep. I was very disappointed in the corner play. I know McDuffie got his interception. Nobody wants to talk about that today because it was a bright spot. Jalen Watson was just kind of all over the place. And I don't care about a mistimed jump. That's your problem. That is part of the issue, but that's not the only one. We'll talk about that play as we come up. And I agree with you. You just have to keep going. There's no one in this league that you're that much better in anymore. This is not the days of 2019 and 2020 when it was just drastic. Now you're in a dogfight. You're in a dogfight for the season. My 13-4 prediction is looking pretty thin right now. So looks like I might have to eat some crow on that one. We're going to get to that here coming up. But I want to make sure that I get the super chatters in, and we're going to get to everyone tonight. For some odd reason, thank you, Alex, by the way, being a member and supporting the channel here for the $5. Appreciate you. I like having the diversity early in the season. It feels to me like it will help the team. I still think we win the West. And I like your optimism. That's good to know. And you're right. It does help kind of consolidate. It helps you figure out what you can do well. And every group of personnel is a little bit different, right? Had you told me the day training camp opened that Kingsley Suamataia and Josh Simmons were going to be this good this early off the bat, and Simmons was a monster last night. I haven't gone back and actually recorded all of his snaps, but zero pressures recorded on either of the services that actually record them. I was really happy with his performance. I thought Kingsley, other than the penalty, I thought Kingsley got his butt in gear. The running was good. I thought you saw him pull across the formation with some authority. And I think that's the key to really taking the next step forward and being a physical line that could do what they did last night. Last night, when they got in the red zone, they were able to run it in. They were able to rely on being physical and running the ball in. And that is a step forward. Whether they lost the game or not, that portion of it was a step forward. And I feel like that will help the team going forward, Alex. That's a very good observation. I appreciate you making it. And thanks for the support, pal. Let's go back. Jordan was in here early. Good evening to you. Is Chris Jones quitting on the play systemic of something happening in the locker room, or could the public ridicule he is rightfully getting spark a fury on the defense? I mean, it might spark it a little bit. He's probably a touch embarrassed. To Dan's point from last night, he was pretty exhausted. I'll give him that. But there's too many media members right now making excuses for him, because here's the bottom line. I don't care. You're at work. Nobody cares about me. If I'm exhausted when I'm at work, you got a job to do. You got to get that done. In particular, and this is the reason why I bring it up. Normally, I am on the player side, and I would say, sometimes that stuff happens when you do get worn out because the rest of your teammates on the defensive front are not really putting up the effort that you are, and you're the guy like driving the whole thing. You should get a little bit of understanding, a little bit of a break there, right? Except for the fact that this is a play, this particular play, where you already caused the problem that put the quarterback on the ground. He's already on the ground. All you got to do is bull rush any of those guys, and we've seen Chris Jones do it a million times. He can walk somebody right back into him. It takes 3 steps, and that play is over. And Chris gets him. He's already on the ground. All Chris has to do is touch him, and he is down. End of story. Down by contact. Over. That's W. That's all he had to do. Instead, he made the initial contact, stood back up, and kind of watched the play happen. Now, I can understand the thought in his head, well, it's way out wide. I'm not going to catch him. My guys are going to get it. If you have faith in your guys, that's what you should, and I appreciate that. But the simple fact is there was a play to be had there. The quarterback's on the damn ground. Somebody had to just beat their man and get him while he's there. It's inexcusable. That particular play is inexcusable. Not to mention the fact that you knocked each other off of making that tackle, and that's kind of ridiculous. It looked like the Keystone Cops out there. I was also disappointed by that, nearly as much as I was in Shamari Connor and the plays that he blew left, right, and center. So, and that, again, goes back to Steve Spagnuolo putting guys in the right place and asking Shamari Connor to play single high in particular on what I think was the turning point of the game that was not that play that we just discussed. I will tell you that, and I will show you that in the members film room this week. Bradley, being 2-3, which is nothing new at all since above 500, and we're not almost getting fully healthy on both sides of the ball and almost getting Rashee Rice back in work. Yeah, but that feels like it's a little bit too much making acknowledgments out of things that should have been dealt with, to be honest. They should have won that game. They played better than that team. They're better than that team. They should have done it. Now, a couple of miraculous plays by Travis Hunter. I give him credit. He adapted, and he actually performed better in this game than I expected him to. Maybe I didn't give him enough credit. I can take that on the chin for me. That's fine. But the truth is, Chiefs were the better team. They should have gotten that one. It's just the bottom line. Beach, thank you for being a member and for being with us tonight and for the support here. Why didn't we see 20 more? And when will 8 be back? It's a great question. I don't know what's going on with Noel. I thought he had been playing better. I thought he'd been playing more aggressive. I thought he was the answer that they needed. Why they chose not to play him could have been a size thing. You go back to his college film, and some guys of significant size were a little bit problematic for him, just in the close contact kind of thing. So maybe it was Thomas that they were a little bit nervous about there. I'm really not sure what that actually means, bottom line, because I would have rolled with it anyway. It was not something that I was concerned enough about. And I mean, good God, I wish I had an answer for you on Christian Fulton. I don't know what in the hell is going on. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to pull up some things to show you guys here shortly. And it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So as much as I'd like to tell you that he had a physical before he was signed, he had trainers all through training camp. Like, I don't know what the problem is that it went out undiagnosed or unfound to this point that Christian Fulton just is about to have a lost season. We're 5 games into it, and we've seen a handful of snaps. So not only is this a colossal failure in free agency, but now it's like it could cost him his future in this league as well. So I am concerned for him, but I'm more concerned for the decision-making that's been going on, especially when we saw them not add enough defensive line, not add enough at the running back position. And now one of the additions you did make looks like it's a possibility that it doesn't work out and maybe doesn't actually contribute to your season. That's a big problem. What's not a problem is getting into the action, and our friends over at ProfitX take care of it. You check ProfitX, America's #1 sports prediction market, is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You will almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, or player prop since you're playing against other people rather than the book. ProfitX offers dual currency system, either Profit Points or Profit Cash, and operates across 40 states. Use the promo code RGR and claim up to $200 in Profit Cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. ProfitX gives you the best lines in the space, and you can even set your own odds on specific wagers on your players, all at ProfitX. Go there and use the code RGR. Terms and conditions apply. Well, I, for one, appreciate them, and if you guys are into that, make sure you check out ProfitX if you want to get in the action. For those of you that are complaining that we have too many sponsors these days, well, these are the folks that pay us so that we can keep providing free content for you. So that's the reason. I appreciate you sitting through it. I try to keep them under a minute, and we're usually pretty dang good at it. So bear with me as we continue to work through really taking us through the year with sponsors that you can enjoy and ones that aren't like, the same dude grooming and BS kind of stuff. So Swag, why is Thornton not playing more? And Rashard Smith Andy can't wait to unleash them. Play them now. We need to win. And I think that's the point that it's coming to. Now, kudos to Thornton. Thornton is playing a lot. I'm going to pull up his snaps here just to take a look at him because I do believe last night kind of sealed it. On a night when it was tough, he was still the guy that was out there putting out plays when he needed it. That one where he crossed the formation and Mahomes was able to hit him late. It's an evolution that we needed to see. Now, he didn't play as much the last 2 weeks. That is true. So it was 47, 46, and then 55 in week 3. Then last week against the Ravens, only 25 and 29. There's one reason for that, one reason only, and that's Xavier Worthy. You needed to get Xavier back onto the field, and so that cuts into everybody's snaps. But when you look at the receiving portion of it, he's doing well. He's running more routes. Obviously, 90 yards last night was the biggest total as a Chief. And up there, I'd have to double check. It might be his biggest total ever. He had 91 yards in 2023. So like he had an entire season of himself to this point last night. I will check real quick at 2022, his rookie year. I don't think he broke. Yeah. So that was a career high for Tyquan Thornton last night. His previous high was 60 yards in New England as a rookie. And this is something that I talked about when he first joined the team. It did take him a while to get onto the field, but he brings what they need. And now it's starting to click for him. He's in the right place when he needs to be. And I think that goes a long way for what Patrick Mahomes needs to see, because he's not going to deliver you the ball if you're not in the spot that he expects. So that is working. 8288, nice to see you. Thank you for the super chat. Bucker is a problem. Has been partly responsible for at least 4 out of the 5 games. And I agree with you. I said, if he's going to keep missing things, extra points, field goals, whatever, and now what should have been a very, very straightforward kick for a guy of his experience, that is becoming a problem. Put it on top of the fact that Dave Tobe's special teams units melted down last night and arguably cost them the game. Maybe some of the calls were ticky-tack. I'll give you that. I have to say I've been hard on Jack Cochran. I think that's deserved still. But one of those calls was not even thick enough that needed to be called as well. But it's not just Bucker. It's the special teams units in general, I think. Remigio got that call against him that I think was just silly. Didn't have to do that. It was unnecessary. So I think they got to get that sorted out. And I don't know if that stems from Bucker or what, or if he's just, distracted by being the elder statesman and the highest paid kicker in the league. I don't know. But he's not earning it right now. And so I agree. He is becoming a problem. If they don't get this sorted out quickly, it's going to become a very big problem. So thanks for putting in there, and thanks for the support, pal. Bradley had a couple here. My feeling after the game is that we let the game slip away, and because of the 13 penalties being unacceptable, and not blame the defense for all of it, and not all 3 phases. That's all those things are absolutely true. There's a lot of blame to go around. That's something that I definitely do agree with you. It is not just Chris Jones. And I know everybody wants to be upset about Chris Jones, and with good reason. It's a bad look on top of the fact that the result was bad. You know what I mean? Cody, I wasn't going to go here yet, but can I please hit the panic button? Smash it, dude. Go ahead. Knock it out of the park. Just keep hitting it until it comes around. I think that it will still. And yeah, we're going to get to this, Scott. That'll probably be on my mock film thing here. So check that out. And I'm sorry to put the film behind the members wall, but please go join at the lowest member level you can, the rookies, so you can get the film. Because YouTube's just making it harder and harder for us to get anything out of putting film out, because they absolutely hammer us. And honestly, they don't even show it to people. So it's becoming a pretty big problem. So I'm going to do this as a way to just talk directly to you guys, the ones that are serious and want all the film aspects. Let's bring it down to that level and see what that does for us. Doesn't mean you're not going to see film anywhere, and Dan's going to keep doing his thing as well. But from my point of view, I think that's the next step forward. And we'll see just how ranty I get. But back to Bradley's question. It is all 3 phases it took to make a loss. It took a terrible play from Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, I kind of hinted at the whole thing about Devin Lloyd earlier. I was like, if you're just going to put Travis Kelce on him, Travis Kelce's going to win that matchup. I don't think he was going to undercut anything. I don't think Travis was going to get away from everything. This was purely a Mahomes not seeing him issue, because he was deep in the hole and he was sliding out. He knew where that route was going to go, because he didn't take it straight into like a normal hook route. Or hook zone, that is. He kind of angled it flat because he knew where it was coming to, and he was trying to get to the mesh point where the receiver was going to be. This was a great play on Devin Lloyd's part. Let's not get that twisted. I'm not trying to say it was not an excellent play, because it was. He's the kind of linebacker that you want in Kansas City or anywhere else that you have to defend the pass with linebackers. But he's also the guy that's been doing it all season. So understand where he is at all times. Understand that if anyone's going to take the ball away from you, it is going to be him. So watch out for Devin Lloyd. It's the same thing on that asinine play that they ran with the lightest guy on the team coming around the end, and they decide not to block the one guy on the defensive line from the Jacksonville Jaguars that can actually hurt you. And they let Hines just come in, Hines Allen, and blast your recently injured wide receiver. Asinine. Terrible. I don't care if you generally run that play where you don't block the guy in the end. This is not that guy. You can't do it. I'm knocking over my water. I'm so pissed off. Because this is the kind of thing when I've coached high school, when I've coached younger kids, like, just do what's smart. Don't get too tricked up in trying to be fancy, or for those kids at those age, high school guys, don't try to act like you're a college athlete. Just play your damn game, do your damn job, and get the thing done. This is what drove me nuts about getting Xavier blown up by one of the arguably top 5 pass rushers in the league because you chose not to block him. Absolutely unacceptable risk to take. I'll probably go off on it more in private. Tatum, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. It's nice to see you. What's up with the Connor infatuation? I just don't understand it. You and me both. And I'll give you a hint of what I'm going to show you on film later in the members vid. The turning point play, 2 of them, they're both on Connor. One you know about because it was called in the end zone. It was the whole PI on a play that ended up with Brian Cook intercepting the ball and could have ended the game there, was on Connor. But the bigger one is the fact that you continue to think that he can do things he can't. Steve Spagnuolo put him in a single high situation on the most important play of the game. The game that turned this game was not the Lawrence TD, was not the interception, was not the PI. It was that long ball to the corner to Brian Thomas, where Jalen Watson let him go, lost track of the ball, jumped early and missed it. And most importantly, Chamari Connor turned the opposite direction as a single high and was late getting to that ball. Trevor Lawrence put it exactly where he did. Trevor Lawrence did an excellent job with that. Brian Thomas did an excellent job going up the ball. They only got away with it because Chamari Connor wasn't there. I will show you on the broadcast because I got a nice little glimpse of it. They're trying to fake him out. They're trying to show him that they're going to go too high and they're going to shift. Chamari's going to take the deep middle as a single high safety, which he is not. We have proven that. He is not a single high safety. Instead of just backpedaling at a slight angle because he's already lined up on the hash, he turns his hips the entire opposite way, misses the fact that the quarterback is staring down the receiver to his left, and doesn't get turned in time to take that ball away. That is the turning point. That kept that drive alive, that moved that ball and put them in scoring position and gave them a whole new life. I don't understand it either, Tatum. He does some things very well. He will come downhill. He has a knack for blitzing. He will take the ball away. He needs to play in space with a guy over his top and a line in front of him. He is not a nickel defender, and he is not a single high safety. End of story. It just ain't there. This is the same crap they did with Dan Sorensen, thinking that he could do things that he couldn't. Sometimes coaches fall in love. I can't tell you why, and I certainly can't explain it. So there we go. Sorry, I'm going to vent a little bit tonight, folks. I hope that's all right. Let me know in the comments and hit me up. I like our chance against Detroit back in their head. There's a deep play action team. Our defense will respond better in the offensive side too. Their defense is decent, but coverage is not good. And they're going to be missing 2 corners, it looks like. We're going to have a crossover episode so we get the behind enemy line stuff from the other hosts on Locked On this week. So go check us out over there as well. But here's the thing. Goff isn't a threat to run, but that doesn't mean you can relax on the pass rush. There's no pass rush without Chris right now. I know Karlaftis is getting pressure, but he's not getting home at all. I don't know what in the hell's going on. Even my guy Gelati is just, he looks run down, and I don't know why. I know the elbow was bothering him, but they had him stacked over the head of the tackles last night, and it just wasn't helping. He needs to be standing up and able to attack. They're not attacking enough with that defensive front. If you're just going to consist on throwing a linebacker in, and kudos to Chanel because they've asked him to rush the passer from the edge more, and he's doing a decent job. He's just not an edge rusher. He will make plays from time to time, but he is not an actual edge rusher. And I think that's putting him in a bad situation as well. So I can't tell you how to fix it if they're not going to listen. So in the end, Yes, they have a better chance at Arrowhead. And yes, they have a better chance because Goff is going to have to drop deeper because there's going to be play action. But that means you have to hammer that pass rush. You cannot let up. You cannot expect anything, which unfortunately also leads to them running the ball a little bit because you're going to take some lanes in order to get pressure and you're going to give up some runs. Spags can live with that. I'm going to live with that too. I don't like it, but I'm going to live with it because there's no way around it. And you have to stop the passing. You have to, or you're going to get decimated, and I'm not here for that. Beach, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. The ends just can't finish, and the O-line are starting to gel. Yes, the two units are going in separate direcciones, and it's difficult to watch sometimes, to tell you the truth. But I am really, really gratified to see that the O-line's coming together. Now, I can't say that I'm tickled by what Juwan Taylor is doing. I'm going to pull up some of his numbers. The good thing is, as a unit, they didn't allow pressure last night. So that is a plus. But when you look at the grades, there were 4 hurries. No, 6 hurries. My fault. No, I can't even count. There were 8 hurries. 4 of them came from Trey Smith. 4 of them. 2 of them for Juwan. 1 for Simmons. 1 for Suamataia. So the least experienced, youngest, and mentally most overpowered side of your offensive line is the one that's getting it done. Your right tackle and your right guard, the 2 most experienced players on this offensive line outside the center, are the ones struggling. Beats the hell out of me, but they got to get that sorted. Yes, it's coming together. That was a front that outside of Josh Hines Allen was not going to threaten you, and that was the problem. So I agree with you. They have to get something, Beach, on the pass rush, or this is going to get real bad real fast. Oregon, nice to see you. Glad you're back. Good to see you too. Why do they leave the middle so open on their pass rush? Seems like all the linebackers are running out with their back turned and the QB too often. Is it a scheme issue? It is. It's a choice. Again, because nobody thought that Trevor Lawrence was going to be a guy that was going to run down your throat. They're hoping that there's enough delay that he sees enough that he's going to hang in there and try to complete the pass. But I will tell you this. Part of it's by design. Part of it's because some guys are guessing. Some guys are taking angles. In fact, the one big run that they had was 2 defenders, Bolton, and I can't remember who's in front of him. It might have been Tillery. Both ended up going to their left, which left a gaping 2-man hole in the middle of the formation that they just scooted right through. It was super simple. When you make those decisions for the opposite team, there's nothing you can do. You're helping them by not doing your assignment, and that's the problem. But that's also the lesser of 2 evils. They are more apt to do that than what they think is more important in getting pass rush and trying to stop the passing game. Now you can tell I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm still a little bit pissed off. I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon, but we're going to keep at it. And I appreciate you guys, dealing with me. Chris Anderson, why does Spags keep playing quote unquote smart players that don't have the athletic ability to do what is asked of them? He keeps doing this shit over and over again. He does, and that's his thing. He wants guys he can trust. Steve Spagnuolo trusts Nick Bolton immensely, and Nick Bolton proves why. Did he get beat a couple of times, especially in the past game? Yes, but then he makes that play against a quarterback sneak that it was epic. And that's because he's a smart player. And that's where Steve Spagnuolo puts trust in the players to figure it out and get it done. There are times that he just trusts the wrong players. I felt like he constantly trusted Sorensen when he shouldn't. I feel like that's the treatment Shamari Connor is getting here. There's no reason CRW should not have been playing single high for them last night. Absolutely no reason, because he's done it well when he's been on the field. He just isn't asked to because they feel like they have to play Connor for some reason. And as I said, Hicks came downhill well last night. Connor does the same. They're the same kind of player. They've adapted, and they've got Cook playing 2 high at least pretty well. Maybe not single high, but he's made that transition. They're trying to force Chamari into it. They want to be multiple so that any safety can do anything at any time, and it just ain't the case. But that's the way they're going to play it, and that's the chance that they're going to take, and they're comfortable with that. They're with him every day, and I'm not, so I can't say that it's crazy, but from where I sit, it seems crazy. Hannah, thank you. Appreciate you for your support. I know everyone's angry with CJ, but it's not fair to expect him to do everything on that D line. We need to trade for a pass rusher ASAP. I agree with you. It is too high an expectation. Nobody else is doing enough to help him. That particular play, though, I expect your veteran $30 million player a year to not care at all and get that thing done on the last play of that game. That's not no excuses when you're that kind of superstar. There is no room for error. So as much as I agree with you, I think he should have been able to make a play there, especially when all he had to do was do what he does. He didn't have to do anything extraordinary. But I agree with you as well. A pass rusher is needed. They're not getting enough out of what they have. Charles Omenihu flashed a couple of times, ended up on his back way too much. It's just not there for him. Problem is they don't have enough cap space to trade for anybody. They have $3.2 million when last I looked. In fact, I'll pull it back up here now because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the most recent number. And I pride myself on trying to do that evenly. So right now, Chiefs are at 3.42. So not enough to make a trade. Not enough to have room to operate. So they would have to trade someone away with salary, or they would have to get a team to eat salary, or they would have to take money forward in a contract like Kels or Creed or Trey. Maybe even Chris Jones. I don't know. I'd have to look at the specific numbers there. But we'll see if they can get something done. The trade deadline is coming. I think running back's way more likely than pass rusher, but we'll see. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate you. Big Pat, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member, dude. I know we've been talking about this for a year and a half now, but how much more do we have to see before Connor's getting torched and playing in the slot? I'm still hot as fish grease. I like that one. I'm going to steal that because now you made me hungry too. That's the thing, is whether it's in the slot or whether it's high. They keep asking him to do the two things that he's not best at. He's great in between, in the middle, behind the linebackers, being an enforcer, coming off the blitz, playing the robber role that they don't play enough. I don't know what it is, but I'm with you, Pat. They have got to get that sorted out and play players that give them the best chance to be excellent in order to help the defense be excellent. So, Green, thank you. No one talking about Trent's interception because it was defensive pass interference. I don't think so. I think that's bull. I do not think it was interference at all. So you get your opinion, I get mine, but the fact is it happened and it isn't a pick. It's not something that he does a lot. I think we should be celebrating a little bit more. Green, I don't know if you're one of our regulars or not. I appreciate you and the bump. But I can't agree with everybody all the time. Chris, what has Noel Williams and Jeff Bossa done to Spags to bury them on the depth chart? Neither of them is buried. They're both playing a ton of special teams. It's just that Noel they for some reason felt that Noel was not prepared to play against those receivers. Diami Brown, Travis Hunter, who would cut away from him pretty easily. I think Travis Hunter showed what he's capable of. And Brian Thomas. I think that was a matchup issue. I don't think it's that he did anything wrong. Jeff Boss is the fourth-ish linebacker, playing a ton of special teams. I guess that's a lie. He's the fifth linebacker. They still have Jack Cochran playing over him, and that's ludicrous and stupid, and I've said that multiple times. Jack Cochran is not good enough to play on this team. That should be a fact. But Steve don't agree. Micah, when the slant game returns, when Rice gets back, do you think RPOs will work? Absolutely. And there's no reason they can't work now. Because Juju will catch him, because Thornton will catch him. They can do them now. They just refuse to do it. They don't want to go to the well yet. They want to keep that for later. And I don't know why. When you're losing ball games, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face at this point. You don't have room. You don't have the luxury of saving anything anymore. You got to get these dubs, or you're going to have to run a gauntlet. Hell, you might not even make the playoffs if you're not careful. So that's my big problem. Thanks, Micah. Got to stop with the flags, and the special teams needs to get right now. Red, you're absolutely right. The flags are ridiculous. Now, some of that I do believe was ticky-tack BS. I think especially the special teams ones, they got penalized a lot, and I think it's because uh, I think the Jags were smart and they told the reps, "Hey, they do this all the time." Like the double team, I felt like that was not intentional. I didn't feel that was should have been penalized at all by the rule of the rule book. Yeah, it was a foul, but I don't think it would have been found if somebody wasn't in the ear of the ref saying, "Hey, they do this all the time. They're gonna have ancillary contact that really is double." And I think that's why they were looking for it. Beach, thank you. More 55, please. And code 43. How many snaps did 83 Noah Gray get? I will check that for you right now. And it is 23. 10 run blocking, 23 pass routes. So, what was it? 64 was the full complement. So Noah played more. Excuse me. Oh, that one caught me off guard. Noah played more than 50% of the snaps. But I agree. It could be more there. Like, get your weapons out there. Omar Norman-Lott was inactive. So still, I'm guessing dealing with that high ankle sprain that hasn't, I'm guessing, really healed, but he is becoming somebody who's going to grow into a threat for them. They're going to have to use him more. They have got to get more pressure and legitimate pressure, meaning someone actually connects. So I'm not certain. I'm going to put this one in the queue. I'm just queuing up some questions here, folks. Set them up. I don't know that we'll have enough to go the whole hour, but we'll give it a shot. You super chatters, I appreciate you guys, and we're going to knock them all out for you. Joseph, thank you. Lots of stuff to look bad to terrible, but I have to console myself. The last time the Mahomes started 2-3, they went to the AFC Championship. Absolutely. It's just now that they're up against the wall. The margin for error is vanishing quickly. Now, you can win 12 games and get in the playoffs. You can win probably 11 games and get in the playoffs. But if they don't quit screwing around, that's going to look harder and harder and harder. So I agree with you. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility, but they got to get serious and they got to find a way to stop letting teams that are worse than them win. Bottom line, you got to have some pride at this point. I think Hines played every snap. Get Wilkins. Yeah, I think Josh Hines Allen did. I'm going to double check that as well over here. And he played 52 of 64. So Hines Allen played about 80%, something like that. Quite a bit, but not every single one. Hannah, thank you again. Very much appreciate you. Juwan against Aiden Hutchinson in the Lions worries me. He's going to attempt to jump for an advantage, and Dan Campbell will tell the refs to watch him. Absolutely. And I think Juwan feels that he has that particular matchup. Okay. What I'm worried about is if the first time he gets beat, what's he going to do then? Is he going to get dramatically quicker? Because that is the problem. And for love of God, line up in the damn line and not in the backfield. I can almost understand a jump every now and then, but not getting lined up correctly is ridiculous. So you know the rules. You're a veteran. Get it done. I don't want to ever talk about this again. I'd be fining him at this point if I was Andy Reid. Black and Gold, thank you. Appreciate you being a member, being here all the time, and for this as well. Is 27 Spags New Sorensen misused far too much. Yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling about it today. Now, I am a little pissed off about this game, so let me ruminate on it. Maybe I'm overdoing it, but that's exactly how it feels to me today. So let's see what they do. Hopefully they can do it. Casey Forever. Can they restructure contracts during the season? Yes, they can. There's still a possibility to do that. It just becomes less and less advantageous the farther you go into a season. But there are things that they can do. I don't feel like they're going to, unfortunately. So let's get a last call for Super Chats in here. We have a couple more questions, but I want to make sure that we get everybody a chance. I'm going to ask that because Hannah said it was a good one. So, Bezoza, you're coming up. Hold with me. You're getting a shot just because Hannah said so. Call the Titans for Jeffrey Simmons. Hey, why not? You got Borgonzi over there. If somebody's going to cut you a deal, make a deal that you can live with, he might be it. So I can't argue. Everybody comes with problems. He certainly has his own, but I would do that as well. And you were pointing out, Bezoza, Reed's early scripted plays have been a bust for a while. Is the game passing him by? It is a good question. And here's my problem with giving you an honest answer is I don't know, because I think Andy's dumbing down his 15 purposefully. He's not giving anything away. He's not putting wrinkles out there. I think every now and then he'll throw a couple in, but it's too vanilla, too much. Still 6 weeks into the season. So I think it is definitely a possibility. I think he does rely on Nagy to bring some of the innovation. And maybe that is part of the problem. But the bigger part is that most of the plays they've run before for a couple of years. Defensives have seen them. They understand how to beat the leverage and how to defeat the plays. And if you don't innovate, you're falling behind, period. That is the way of the NFL. So they got to pull their heads out and get after it. And I'm not sure where they're at, but they better figure it out quick. Jackson, Dan was questioning the Chiefs' level of interest in Christian Wilkins after last night's game. Wilkins suffered a second Jones factor, is likely over for the 2025 as he faces a drop-off. I did not have that second Jones fracture confirmation. If that's true, then yes, nobody's going to sign him. I understood that he had a setback. I didn't know it was a second fracture. So if it's just a setback, I was thinking, November, December, but certainly with a second fracture, you're right. That would end his season. There would be no interest remaining. And Hannah, Yell Specs does this every year. BS Vanilla plays until like week 8. And last year, Chamari played a ton of snaps in the slot. Then week 8, it dropped. It did. And he will shift. He needs, he's almost like a data scientist. He wants enough snaps. He wants enough film to be comfortable with his decision making. Because I think Spags in particular doesn't like to make a decision and then go back on it. I think he is very, very sensitive to not putting the players in a yo-yo situation. So he wants to come up with a plan. He wants to stick to the plan. If the plan doesn't work, all right, he'll change the plan, but he's not going to just like flip it back. He's not going to make a harsh or a quick decision, in my opinion. That's kind of the read I get on Steve Spagnuolo. So right or wrong, we'll see it. But thank you, Hannah. I appreciate you. And Green, thank you for another one. Sorry, not Hines, but Jones. Okay, so you were talking Chris Jones, I assume, because I wasn't paying attention to any other Jones that was out there. 58 plays on defense for the Chiefs. Jones played 48 plays. So, yeah, another like right about 82%, something like that. George Karlaftis played 44, a little bit less. The linebackers, Nick Bolton played everything. So did Connor McDuffie. Jalen Watson played all but 2. And so Chris had the most of the D-line group, followed by George. Then Leo was a kind of a drop down to 35 snaps. So that's the group that they went with, for better or for worse. It is what it is. All right. We're going to get Perry's, and we're going to double check for any last seconders here. And I think we're good. Okay. So PFF ranks Noddy as the worst IDL. That move bringing him in instead of Pennell looks terrible. There has to be more of an age for the reason that they got rid of him. Yeah, he hurt himself last year. He was ineffectual in Kansas City because of like a tricep trap issue on his left side, from what I understand. I don't think it's gotten better. I don't see him being able to be powerful there. It certainly looks absolutely the wrong move to let Pennell go. I was pretty surprised by it at the time, and I'm even more regretful now. So it is what it is. They can't affect it now. He is signed and on a 53 in Cincy, so there's no bringing him back. There's nothing that can be done at this point. So there's the doom and gloom. I'm going to do something fun. I'll probably put it up later in the week. It'll be a filmish type review / rant in the members section for the rookies and higher members. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Get signed up. There's plenty of time. It will be not safe for work. If this was passable for work, you're probably okay, but the next one is not going to be. So Nikki got one in here, and she's one of our dear members, so I want to make sure I get her question here. Why do they expect Chris Jones to play every snap? I know they need him, but it looked gassed at the end, and I I asked before, but you missed it. Oh, sorry about that. Because honestly, they don't have an option. There's no pass rush from anyone else. George is a secondary player. The play has to come to George. George cannot affect both a tackle and a quarterback in a single play just based on his athleticism. He has to have pressure in coincidence from somewhere else, right? So the only real catalyst in the pass rush is Chris Jones. And until they fix that, whether Ashton Gelati comes around, Charles Menihue pulls his head out, I don't know. Until they get something else that can force the quarterback to change what he's doing, that's why they keep going back to the well with Chris, because they just don't have another option. The nearsighted hope is that by giving Norman Lott the week off last week, and this, now this just clicked for me too. I mentioned it pregame that they couldn't take this team lightly. Resting Norman Lott tells me that they thought they had this game in the bag. Bottom line, they didn't need him. And he probably would have stopped Trevor Lawrence on that last play. That's the truth. So I think this was a miscalculation on the staff's part as well. That just literally, as you said that, Nikki, that clicked for me. So I think they just underestimated this team. And I don't know. I have no explanation for that. Ignore the AM chat. I don't know what that means, Sam, but if I missed something, let me know. Beach, I gotta go. Have a good night. You too, pal. Appreciate you being here. Travis, after 5 games, how do they define the crisis of the Chiefs team? Chiefs U team. What kind of team are they becoming, and versus who they thought they'd be? I think they're a little frustrated that they're not getting the rest of the contributors, especially the newer contributors, to raise their level of game as Patrick does. I think everybody's used to Patrick leading and everybody else kind of raising their game with him, and they're not getting that, especially on the defensive side of the ball, on the front seven. So I think that is definitely part of it. Hannah agrees with you, and she said, preach, lady, preach. I haven't come through, so we won't doubt that until it happens. Been a fan through way worse stretches, and that's a very good point, Oregon. Appreciate you. Steven, thank you. Latest super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. How much did my Red Raiders beat your Jayhawks? In all seriousness, love the pod. Give me some hope. I think that's actually going to be a pretty good game. I was disappointed with Jalen last week. I don't think that he's carrying himself the way that he should. I don't think they use Wentz very much. I know that Hishaw was not running like the new kid. I got to go back and look at some of their defensive schemes. And honestly, I've treated the last couple of years as I get more and more and more busy with the NFL side. I'm watching college ball more for fun until it's draft season, until after the playoffs in the NFL. So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to call this Jayhawks win. It's probably 4 points. That's where I'm going to put it, Steven. Don't be angry, but good luck to your Raiders. I just hope no one gets hurt. How's that? Aaron said they need to give Noel more snaps. I agree. All these guys need to do is stop beating themselves. You're absolutely right, Oregon. Stop shooting yourself in the foot, and you're going to have W's. This is way more about the Chiefs than it is about any of the opponents. The only thing that I think maybe pumped them up and made them get a little bit cocky is they beat the hell out of a bad Ravens team, and that is not a team that you can even count as a win at this point because they're so bad. Hey, Night Hunter, I'm just about to sign off. Nice to see you, pal. Long story short, this team has to get out of its own damn way. They have to find a killer instinct game. They have to perpetuate that through the entire roster because right now they don't got it. I appreciate the effort some players are putting in. Josh Simmons, Kingsley, Tyquan Thornton has stepped up. Drew Tranquil's doing the best that he can. I think you can see some of his age catching up with him. Leo Chanel is doing everything he's asked, and then some. Trent McDuffie's Trent McDuffie. I think Cook has been a little bit up and down, but I think he's getting better at being a space safety. And until last night, I thought Jalen Watson was on the upswing. I'm not sure what happened, but Noel Williams has got to have a shot at that as well. So Night Hunter thought the same thing, that they took him lightly, let him back in the game. I absolutely agree with you. And last comment, Steven, however amount your Jayhawks win, I'll donate a super chat. Okay, rock and roll, man. I hope it's just $1 then. Enjoy your weekend. We're going to double it up. We're going to have Gary's content and Dan's tomorrow because of the schedule of the week. Thursday Night Football is eating into your time to watch and our time to produce. So we're going to try that. Let me know what you guys think of that in the chat, and definitely check both those vids out. And then Friday we'll have the game plan, and I'll try to get the members piece up before then. So have a great night. Thanks for being over here. I appreciate you.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.